Hello the internet, and welcome to another episode of The Spit Take. My name's Jack O'Brien, I'm the editor-in-chief of Crackton. You've probably heard about classic movies that were legendary disasters behind the scenes. Jaws' mechanical shark was famously a fake-looking lazy asshole.
Here it comes, the shark is coming!
That's right, old and stupid.
Apocalypse Now's shoot was an over-budget nightmare that was scheduled to go 6 weeks, took 68. We know those stories because they fit the overall legend of the movies they're used to publicize. But that's not always the case. For instance, The Godfather may have featured the greatest film actors of the 50s through 70s, but one of them refused to remember his lines. During one of the most emotionally wrenching scenes, the actor portraying the movie's most emotional reaction shot was holding a sandwich just outside of frame that he would take bites of in between sobbing. Now, all the actors looked up to Brando, which is a shame because he was the actor in every single one of those anecdotes. How do you keep Al Pacino, James Caan, Robert Duvall focused when the guy who made them want to be actors in the first place refuses to even read the script and makes them hold cue cards up in scenes they share with him?
Jimmy would tell a joke. It would take Brando 3 seconds to catch on, and he would go like that.
Okay, so just to recap, Marlon Brando communicated by punching his fist and grunting, like Tuco's uncle with the bell, if he were played by a trained seal. Now, that may seem less Homer Simpson funny stupid than Lenny from Of Mice and Men risked to himself and others stupid, but Duvall knows what story they really want him to tell.
We're in Staten Island at the wedding, and Brando, he gave out belts at the end for championship belts for mooning. He went for his belt, I went for my belt. We mooned each other, mooned everybody. Some woman turned to me and said, "Mr. Duvall, you're fine," but she turned to her friend and said, "But did you catch the balls on that Brando?" She said.
And it's also horrifying. Effects-heavy action movies are obviously less exciting behind the scenes, but I was a little surprised at how much more creepy the most famous romance ever filmed becomes without CGI. Minus the orchestral swell and the computer-animated ocean racing past below, Titanic's $1 million shot looks surprisingly like someone being cornered by a pervert on a piece of farm equipment and dry humped to completion. Was that scene in the movie? Leo just all up on his Italian buddy like that? It was a simpler time. Of course, you can't judge behind-the-scenes footage that doesn't contain the legendary on-screen relationship between Rose and Jeremy Sisto.
I may have to get you to write that down.
Stop, no, it's just Rose.
Wow, Jack and Rose's love story doesn't work at all when I don't want to f both of them. Titanic was famous for being hard on the actors who had to perform in cold, dark, wet conditions. Also, sometimes James Cameron would just awkwardly stare at the side of your face. At least that's what I like to imagine. Like that's the full audio all the way turned up and Cameron's just silently mouthing the lyrics to My Heart Will Go On with slight alterations. Like, you know when two people are whispering and you can only hear the S's and there are like way too many S's? Anyways, the shoot had clearly driven Kate Winslet insane by the time they shot the dance scene.
I just had a blast. It wasn't about water. It wasn't about anything else that had anything to do with the film. It was just fun and silly. And I got to be relaxed.
What do you call it? Dance sting? How wonderfully mad. Ha! Ha! That's my Kate Winslet. Imagine how much she's gonna like it when she finds out it's usually done to music. Must be hard to have that much fun in a room that sounds like Nazis marching into town under cover of night.
Don't think.
The making of Star Wars Episode 1 should be shown to every successful filmmaker and second-term president as an example of how not to handle success. You almost feel bad for him as he calls Jar Jar Binks the key to all of this.
Jar Jar is the key to all this, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had.
Then you see him show the actor how Jar Jar should move his arms and you don't feel bad anymore. But mostly you feel sorry for the people around him, quietly smiling as he hands down orders, and none of them seem to realize that's not how anyone acted on the set of the original Star Wars. Harrison Ford was like, dude, you call these scripts? You can't read this shit. He had to be convinced not to make C-3PO an oily car salesman type by one of the actors he was trying to hire to replace Anthony Daniels' voice with voiceover. Anyone who's seen the behind-the-scenes footage of Darth Vader before James Earl Jones' voice knows how close that movie was to completely sucking.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
But the message Lucas took away from that first movie was not how lucky he was to have all those talented people saving him from all the horrible decisions he wanted to make, but rather how much he should take all the credit for Star Wars everything. Here he is before the making of Episode 1.
The directors, because they are very much like their movies.
Now compare that with his frame of mind in 1977 before making the original Star Wars trilogy, where he spends most of his time being mad at how much input other people have.
Aesthetic, directorial, writing decisions, which they have really no business making.
He also has no idea how to pronounce the names of things that he himself invented. For instance, here's how he pronounces THX, his first movie.
The first text was really a visual exercise.
What the f***? That's how my mom would pronounce it, too. So yes, fuck the man, totally. But also maybe thank him for stopping George Lucas from fucking up episode 4 through 6 of Star Wars. Michael Bay shoots are insane without a single effect. Here, he and his effects crew can be seen accidentally throwing a car into a building. It's not like someone could have been in that building, right? Oh, apparently they just show up on the day and catapult whatever Michael Bay wants through the sky.
We burned, crashed. Probably close to 200 cars.
Man, Michael Bay is living the dream of a pretty stupid 12-year-old boy. When The Passion of the Christ came out, the media made room for only two camps. The pro-Christian, this movie is exactly right, exactly as it happened camp, and the anti-Christian, this movie is offensive, Christianity is nonsense, Mel Gibson is crazy camp. This made it easy to miss what I think is pretty clear evidence that if a Christian God exists, he's not a fan.
I don't know if you've ever experienced a sunburn at all, but you know, when you go through that healing stage of itching, ugh.
After Mel Gibson takes way too much pleasure in whipping a life-size model of Jesus, we're treated to a series of tone-deaf complaints by the actor playing Jesus about how much he suffered while pretending to be crucified.
On the cross, I had to stay in a position for 8-9 minutes.
If there's a Christian God, does he have any idea how much it would piss him off to hear someone complain that it was cold up on the cross he was fake nailed to and that the heater chemicals made him sick to his tummy?
The gas heaters to keep you warm had gas coming out of it, and I was very sick from them.
Well, God was like, if you don't know.
And I knew it. I said, I'm gonna get struck by lightning. And sure enough,
now you know.
The moment it hit, I heard people scream, and a couple guys before me grabbed the ground. And what they saw was like fire coming out of the right and left side of my head.
I think I'd heard he was struck by lightning, but I had no idea he had spent the previous 30 minutes basically winning the championship title belt for wagging his dick at God. Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode. If you know of any other great behind-the-scenes stories that I forgot to tell or didn't know about, please share them below in the comments. Keep watching the Spit Take, subscribe, you know how to do that. Thanks.